Doing a roll call?
Sure. Mayor Moser,
Present.
Marvin Davis,
Present.
Mark Panacucci,
Present.
Mark Valdora is present, Michael Korpash.
I am present.
Hey,
We can do our Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, I saw no old business in our packets, but if you have anything, or any member does. Because as we go through the agenda, I think we're going to take action or at least consider applications that we received in the past of Jonathan Baker Jr. and Louis Paramo. So.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one item from old business.
Okay, very good.
The request for the Marinas property is going to be on the upcoming school board agenda for approval.
Oh, good, okay.
Very good. We did approve that through city council, so that'll work out just fine.
And that would be the 20th?
Yes, that's the
Okay,
next voting meeting.
very good. Well, I see none that are present here today from the original tax forgiveness program. And are now looking to meet those criteria, so I think we can move through that agenda item unless anyone has any other additional information.
I do not.
Okay.
Was that the 20th you said?
That would be the 20th for that school board meeting. We have a second part of our motions and any potential action to approve all those properties presented that meet program criteria and satisfy the board. I think we can sort of add that into the action on tax forgiveness applications that we have outstanding. And that would be under the review of newly submitted applications for tax forgiveness that we received at the last meeting. Those two packets are in, or information of those packets are in your folders this evening. And they would be for Jonathan Baker Jr. and Louise Paramo.
Louis Bram is not here today, is that?
No,
right?
no.
Which makes it a little bit difficult.
And maybe Marvin can speak to this, of the timeframes that he's under his property, and that he does need some more time to continue before getting into the occupancy situation with you. Do you have
Who's
any
that,
more-
Mr. Paramus?
Yes,
Yeah, I did go to his property. That's the property on McMahon, correct?
yes.
And
Wait, excuse me, sir, which was the address for McMahon? If that's 606, it should be Olivia.
what's that address? 9?
I do not. For Paramo, that's his mailing address, but 220 Donner is what we have.
Nothing's happening at 220 as of yet. They are in the process of preparing the property. They just acquired it, I guess, from Maria.
Miriam Mariquez, right.
Exactly.
That's
They
the-
came and they have a temporary occupancy, just so they could close the deal. They have no opportunity to live there as of yet. They need to do a lot of work, which is ongoing, will be ongoing before anyone will be properly able to live there or reside there. So they will be doing a lot of maintenance on the property presently. But no one is there, and they're just working on the property and trying to get it up to code. So I'm assuming that they are on the new program.
They should be.
So they have some time, and we're gonna work through that with them as far as what they need to do and what they need to accomplish.
One of the questions we discussed today, just to put to the board, is that amount of time that we were going to be allocating for these new applications. Has that been set in anyone's mind as far as
I think-
what that time frame is?
Not-
Well, let's talk about the new program versus the old program.
Right.
As I understand it, the new program is such that they can enter into a contract with us to bring the property up to code. They convince us that they have the wherewithal, they sign an agreement that says they're going to do it. It's pretty much a binding agreement. And at that time, we forgive the taxes if we think that they are capable of meeting the terms of the agreement.
Okay.
As opposed to the old program, which was, and both programs allowed a year
Right.
to get the property brought up to code.
So are we happy with that designation of a year is what I was alluding, talking with Marvin on, as far as a board, or overall board?
I think,
Yes.
I think a
Okay.
year's lenient.
Do we need to do any kind of a vote or motion on that, or is that just something for discussion that we would say applies to the new application?
I think the new application basically
I
I
specifies
believe that's
that.
stated in
It
the
is.
application.
And the agreement.
Yep,
So if we're comfortable with them entering into the agreement, and we're willing to sign that agreement in cooperation with them, it's pretty much a deal.
okay.
It's gonna be different for him, somewhat.
Yeah, maybe we can bring that up
And
under the new
you-
business
You're
here
basically
item.
trying to enter into the new program or the old, continue with the old program?
Yeah, basically,
Which one? New or old?
yeah. The new one.
New, right,
So he bought it, right.
right.
I think,
Since he's here, why don't we work our way through that to begin with? Do we have his application here?
No, I don't think we
I
probably
don't-
don't.
I know I turned it into Mr. Moses.
Right, I thought I gave it to you, a copy to you, did I?
I'm not seeing it here in the copies that we made.
No?
Give me 1 second, I'm gonna go upstairs and check.
Okay. Let me check with mine too, Mayor, while we could-
Well, that greatly complicates things, and I apologize, I don't know what to say about it. Well, let's talk it through real quick.
Yeah. As far as timeframes and where you're at in the process and that sort of thing. And then if it's in Marlene's office, I'll have it first thing in the morning and then we can work from there, but.
I mean, if need be, after this, I could always, if I have to, I could always fill out another one.
And here's an application for you, just in case you need another copy of it. The bottom line is that you were part of the original program,
Yeah.
Right,
and for reasons that are somewhat benign, you ceased working on the project because you had a misunderstanding of where we were going and what we were
Yeah.
doing. And once we got the tax forgiveness program going again, you decided you wanted to enter into it as a new applicant rather than doing it. Maybe you can tell us exactly where you are with what you've done thus far and what your plans are to going forward.
Okay, so with the property, as Mr. Davis seen when he came up, I've done tremendous amounts of work to it, a lot. There's still, like you said, there's still a few things that I could definitely do to make it habitable, but it's not many. I really don't need much time. It's just, I would like the extra time so I don't have to rush to get it done, just to make it, half done, et cetera. So I'd like to, if I get some more time, that's what I'm really leaning towards, so we can get it done.
How much more time do you think you'd need?
Shouldn't, really not much, it's just more or less some cosmetic work.
We talking a couple months or?
Yeah, maybe 3
I would
months
think.
tops, if that.
I would think, I encouraged him because I didn't think under the old program he would be ready by July. And I thought July, the end of June or July was the end point for their initial program. And from what I saw, he has done tremendous amount of work on the property. But I would think that there's gonna be at least a couple of months before he can get to where I would be able to say, you're in shape to let someone move here, or you wanna sell it or whatever. But I would think he needs that at least. going
My general
forward.
feeling is the whole purpose behind this program is to get property brought up into a livable state. Occupancy, where it can have an occupancy permit, get it back on the tax rolls. And if you're working towards that goal, I don't see any reason why I personally would have any objection to allowing some additional time for that to happen.
Well, I would like to, I would add that one of the reasons I told him that, because I thought that we would feel comfortable with letting him stay on the old program and just giving him a little more time than the time that we initially said was gonna be, used to get up to code, under the old program, which at last, we decided was gonna be in July. I thought it was July, after June or the 1st of July. And I
That's
just
what we
didn't,
said, is an
Right.
arbitrary timeline.
right, and I didn't think that and he has a lot of work in the property, I will say that.
Well, what are your feelings on this concept?
I just suggested, it seems like there's some confusion with finding documents.
Well, the document that we're having trouble finding is to enter it into the new program.
Yeah.
But he was a member of the program in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, one, we have two ways to look at this. One would be to extend the old program, and once he gets all the occupancy permit, comes before us with receipts and so forth, we just forgive it like we've done all along the process. The other would be to, when Marlene gets back, we can probably find his original application or get another application. But that would forgive the taxes now, and he'd enter into an agreement with us and give him another year to get it done. Because he's already got so much invested in the project right now, I would think that it would fit better with the old program than it would the new program, just myself.
Mhm. I feel that you're grandfathered in no matter what, right?
Well, and if that's the way we're gonna take it,
Yeah.
then
Right.
let's do it.
Yeah.
I do believe that there are some people that have done absolutely nothing on the program before,
Right.
and to say that they've got another couple months to bring it up to code is just ludicrous.
Mhm.
Whereas he's actually invested a lot of time and energy into the
Absolutely.
program. I think that,
I don't have any qualms with it. I just-
Yeah, I don't have a problem extending the self-imposed deadline that we put in place for the
Right.
end of June for the old program.
for somebody that's working on it.
Yeah, but at least he's shown that he's actively
Right.
working on the property where the others haven't
In the
even
water.
responded.
Are you
I-
comfortable with us doing that?
Yeah, that's fine, it's whatever's easier, I just didn't know if it would be easier to get into the new program that way, or like, just if you would be able to extend.
Well,
Right.
well, why don't you tell us how much time you want in order to get this brought up to
For me, not to really, like Mr. Davis said, there's not a lot, there's just really cosmetic, like I have to put up some drywall, maybe 3 months tops, if that's pushing it for real.
If you think 3 months, I think 3 months is
3 months.
Very
reasonable.
I think you can
reasonable.
get there.
Well, I think we could just take it to the end of the year. I mean, we may wanna look at how we reschedule.
Gotta
some
give
of
you
these
some
meetings,
summertime to
so
work on
Right.
the
why don't we give
outside.
until-
Yeah,
I have an idea of the next meeting dates, and then it would kinda coincide with our school dates, our school meeting, maybe at the end of November, or, because, we'll have a reorganization meeting in December, right?
Correct.
So, I don't know how much business will be done
He'll be ready by
in December,
September.
right? So why don't we just give it till, I would think that we could meet, in November, August and November, right?
Okay.
For
He'll be
upcoming
ready.
cases, and then give you to the end of November.
Okay.
That's 6 months,
Yeah,
basically.
that's plenty of time. Now, if I get done before that, could we, like, have a meeting before that?
Well, the problem is that the school board doesn't meet during the summer. We have to coincide with their business meetings. So that has a lot to do with,
Okay,
although we could approve it beforehand, it really wouldn't do you any good until which time as it goes through the school board.
yeah,
the-
6 months, that's.
Yeah,
that's plenty of time.
the downside is under the old program, we can't take it to the board until an occupancy permit's been
Right.
issued.
It's exactly right.
So, under
makes
the
a
new
difference.
program, we could do it.
Right.
Right up front, right.
Yeah.
See, because honestly, another reason why I was trying, because I know, like, with the back taxes, I wanted to try, I just got a new job over at General Electric, so I was pushing it, maybe getting a mortgage taken out of the house, because I'd like to get the roof done, it needs siding, so that, that would help me in the long run that way. But this way, I just gotta keep coming out of pocket, it hurts, but, it just takes longer to do it that way. So that was another reason why I was looking towards the new program as well, because I know with the back taxes, I can't get like a mortgage or nothing out on the property.
Yeah,
Right now,
ties
with
him up.
mortgage rates being what they are, it's not the ideal time either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you guys are willing to work with me, either way, I'll be greatly appreciated.
Well, this would give you basically 6 months to get it
Right.
done, so that's not quite the same pressure on you.
Yeah.
When you get all done, you're gonna have something that's free and clear, and you won't have mortgages to
Right.
contend with and so forth.
So now, if I'm staying in the old program, then I technically still have to pay even all the way to the end of the 6 months, right? Like, I'll have to pay up on them taxes too, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
just make sure, so I know, like, what I have to get there.
Yeah. The taxes from the time you enter the program till the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
that they're forgiven need to be paid.
Yep, yep. And then nobody, like, there's no way, like, the county or nothing can sell it out from under me or anything like that, right, still?
We can stop that.
Okay, just make sure. Okay, well, that's all I really had to, questions.
We'll square that away tomorrow too,
Yeah, cool.
the application, yeah.
Still have my number, so
Just
you
to-
can
yeah.
Call me now.
Absolutely.
Well, if I'm staying in the old program.
No, just so you have it though, and
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you. Sorry
All
for
right.
the confusion.
Sorry for that, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay. Now, these other two, they've actually sent their application fee forward.
Mhm.
They haven't signed the agreement, though, is what we're saying.
No. But they have all their information for both Baker. I think Paramo needs a little more, and we need to discuss that for what, and maybe Marvin, you can help me out with that part of it. But let's concentrate first. Baker has submitted most of the information I believe that we need, and you can see it in your packets, to move forward with his exoneration issues. The one question that I had was for the board is, he's doing 2 pieces of property and submitted a check for the application for $500. We can cover both those properties with that application fee, or we can talk about requiring an additional amount if required, but
Yeah, and I don't have a copy of the new agreement, but from what I remember, a person could enter into, have a second property without having to resubmit an extra $500.
That's what
As long
I've-
as the first property was moving forward and I think he meets that criteria.
he does,
so
absolutely.
I wouldn't be looking for an additional $500 for Mr. Baker for the second property.
And neither was I, but wanted to make sure the board was, in consensus with that, and that we thought, and I remember that discussion from a meeting that absolutely we set those parameters, so that's fine.
Now, when do we expect him to enter into the new agreement? Because I know we have like the checklist, but I don't have a copy of the new agreement that he
Right.
would have entered into.
Right.
So
I
that's
guess,
what we're still
I
working.
guess our purpose of the meeting today would be, are we willing to extend to him the opportunity to enter into a new agreement?
I think that was the idea that we, when that information was submitted, that we were gonna review it and then make that decision.
In other words, it's up to us to determine that he is sincere, that he has the
Yes.
financial wherewithal.
Yes.
Clearly, he intends on mortgaging his property in order to finance it. It looks to me like, it's not like he has the money in hand, so it really becomes an issue is whether he's credit worthy enough to get the mortgage on the property once we sign the agreement, and that's something that is rather difficult to determine. And the other is he physically able, mentally able to either direct contractors or to perform this work on his own? And does anybody know this person individually? I would like the opportunity to talk to him, to be honest.
I don't know him extensively, but I've seen his work, and I know that he's good with his hands. He's a good electrician. He's a good air conditioning, heating person. A lot of people have used him. Even some businesses in the Mon Valley area have used him. He's able to do it. I will say that, from what I've seen and what I know of him, he is able to do it. I know for a fact he put removed a furnace at our church a few years back so that we could have a floor put in our basement area, and reinstalled it. There have been people that have called him to do air conditioning units around town in different places. I suggested to Jonathan that he would bring somewhat of a portfolio of some of the people that he's worked for and things like that, but he himself could do the work as well as direct people to get done what needs to be done.
He did include a copy of his bank statement. And it looks like he does have a pretty good cash flow going in it. He does have money in the bank that I would not. Just your gut feeling, what does this house need to get it up to snuff?
Are we talking about the
The two houses, I guess, is what it really boils down
Well,
to.
there's the Ross Straver property.
The Ross Straver, the-
Yeah, the Ross Straver property now, you gotta understand, I haven't been in either. I've been in the second house, the one on Delaware.
Correct.
I've been in that house probably about 3 years ago. That house was totally gutted from the inside. There's new doors and windows. It needs siding. It needs work on the exterior as well as the interior. The people that had it previously were moving in a good direction, and I guess they had some misfortunes and they had to give the house up. The house on Ross Straver, my understanding is gutted and ready for preparation to be repaired and fixed up on the inside. I have not been in either since. The outside of the Ross Straver project is also going to be needing a lot of work. There's a garage there that probably needs to be torn down, and there'll be an open space. But, I have some confidence in the fact that Mr. Baker could get a lot of that work done. He says he has the materials on site. I mean, that would be something that we could look at, and I don't see us at a loss, because if they don't come up to their part of the bargain, then it reverts back to us, doesn't it, the property?
Well, not entirely. It basically, once we do this, we're on the hook to see it through. And the best we can really do is to reattach liens to the property if they fail. And that can be very counterproductive if, in fact, the property remains to be blighted. We don't want blighted property either.
And he loses the money that he put into it.
And he loses the
Right.
money to put into
Exactly.
it.
Well, not necessarily lose, but he's not.
Right. To me, it seems to me that we probably ought to adjust our criteria a little bit. It would be nice to have a ballpark figure as to what this house would be worth once he gets it completed. Are we talking about a house that's gonna be an $80,000, $90,000 house, or $10,000 house? There's a big
Yeah,
difference.
but the other side of that is depends on what they do to it too,
Well,
man.
exactly, but if you look at comparable properties in the neighborhood and you say, okay, if they bring it up to snuff, this house could be worth as much as $90,000, just grabbing numbers out of thin air. And we look at it and say, okay, you're gonna need to invest $20,000 into it to get it up to that position. We can look at his financials and say, well, yeah, he's got money in the bank and he's got mortgage he can take out on this. It's likely that equation works out. But it would be nice to have him here to give us that information. Because we don't know what he's, what market
his
he's trying,
intentions are.
what his intentions are to get it up to that point. If he's intending to market this house as comparable property to others in the neighborhood, and others in the neighborhood are going for $100,000, then that means something. But we can look at the house and say, wow, you got a lot of work to do there. It's gonna cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to get it up to that. But without him here, I don't know how we accomplish that.
Well, I would think that either one of those properties would be looking at somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000. And then that would be just to get it to a point where it would be sellable or usable, in my opinion.
Okay, so you invest $20,000 into it, and that house, once you invested $20,000 into it, what are houses going for in that neighborhood?
I would probably think I would think $50,000 to $70,000 at best, but I got to consider the fact that some of the work Mr. Baker will probably be doing, so that would probably cut down on what he's going to actually have to put into that. So if he's doing a lot of the work, then he may be gonna be looking at 10 grand to get it up to snuff. Now, that's the Ross Straver house. Now, the house on Delaware, I think he's got a longer way to go, personally.
I really wish he was here where we could talk to him.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that we can really make a decision.
What is the, Ross Straver, what,
1435, right down the hill from the old Libby's, in the middle of the block. Used to be the Michael Canestrell
The
home.
white frame house?
It's a frame house, sits back off the road just a little bit, and there's a garage with it. Right, as soon as you get down the dip past Libby's, it's right there on the left. If you're coming up Grand Boulevard and going down Ross Straver.
Oh, okay, the other way?
Yeah.
Away from the school.
Yes.
on the left?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the lady's name that lived, her daughter just not too, you know Brian, little short guy that walks down blonde. You know where his sister lived up on, yes, right past her house, right next to her. You ride by there, you'll see it. It'll be on the left-hand side, right-hand side, I'm sorry, going down.
Right-hand side.
It'll be on the right-hand side. You know where,
Cobalt?
no, not too far from Secretary, up at the superintendent's office at the middle school. Amy, not too far from Amy.
Bukowski?
Oh, on that street, on that side?
That side.
Oh, I'm thinking,
Oh, you're on the other side by the high school
Yeah,
going,
I'm
coming
thinking
toward Linden.
Joseph's.
No, the other way.
oh, it's on the other.
She's on the same few
Oh.
houses up from Amy.
Okay. Well,
When's the next opportunity we're gonna have for a meeting where,
When we can have Mr. Baker coming.
Yes.
I think it might be in everybody's best interest to see when he's available.
Yep.
Our next meeting is scheduled for the,
well, this one's June 26th, right?
Yeah, 26th is our
26th.
meeting,
Mhm.
but to keep with your schedule with the school,
I don't think
Hmm.
that I don't think it's reasonable to be able to get information from Mr. Baker on these two properties within the next 5 days
right,
to get it on.
so
to
we're
get
looking
it
at
on the board.
November, August, the same time frame that we are for his property before the school board could even consider it.
Yeah, August would be the next meeting for the school board.
So presumably, yeah, I don't know, I'm not the solicitor, so I can't really say this. It seems to me that the board here could meet at any time and approve the contract. But
Mhm.
the actual forgiveness of taxes where he could go borrow money against it wouldn't occur until August or whenever
Correct.
that time frame is, so. It's complicated because he's not here to answer questions.
Mhm. At least he's provided some capital, evidence of some capital for us, right?
Well, and bank statements and so
Yeah.
forth,
Yeah.
but he's not here to sign the agreement and he's not here to answer any questions.
He's part of the old agreement.
And he wants to be in the new
Yeah,
agreement.
he must be in the
The
new.
new agreement.
Yeah, mhm.
This is a total new application that includes a $500 program.
mhm.
He's provided the financial
He's provided.
information.
So when he presented this check for the new program, right?
Mhm.
He didn't complete the application, or?
Well, he completed the application, but he hasn't signed the
The
agreement.
agreement is the only
We,
thing.
we
yes.
haven't
But-
offered him the agreement.
uh,
Do we want to extend ourselves? I personally,
I guess we would have to, I mean, it seems like,
It's-
this is the
it's-
forgiveness board.
it is a
Yeah.
forgiveness
Yeah,
board,
yeah.
it just really doesn't answer some of the
No.
questions that I've gotten.
Could you do it upon a motion of contingency that if we receive that, all would be approved? If we made a vote tonight?
What would we hear from him that would discourage us from
Yeah, that's,
saying, okay? I mean, that's what I would be listening for. I mean,
Well, my biggest concern is if we have an agreement signed by
Uh-huh.
him, then
oh, I
then it's
don't-
on him to meet the terms of the agreement.
I would hope he
It,
did.
the city would look bad if he failed to do it and we had to, you know, implement the stipulations within the agreement to, you know, file the liens back on the property.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that.
but based on what little I've known of Mr. Baker, I think that he'll be able to
I do
come to
too.
terms.
I
Yeah, I
think
agree
he's
with
serious
that, Mark.
about what
Yeah,
he's
I
trying
do.
to do.
But I think if we have a signed agreement from him, I think we can go ahead and approve it as a tax exoneration board to forward to the district to get their approval so that, you know, he can move forward with any type of work or
Right.
or loan applications to obtain additional funds.
So if we could work something out this week with him, I, and Marvin could work with him to get that signed, and the mayor. Then meet again, possibly our group next week.
Well, what would
Prior
we,
to the school
would we need a
district
meet again? I mean, if we can agree upon
Yeah,
this
I
at this
agree.
point,
Then that's fine.
then we just simply give that the go-ahead for you guys to
That'd be
move
perfect.
Yeah, I
forward.
mean,
We can.
if he's able, we're able to check all the boxes
Right.
on this, you know, pre-application.
Right.
I think we're good to move
Okay.
forward.
Just pass that along.
Okay, well, if we can do we need a motion this evening to do that?
Probably should, huh? So
like
it's on
firm.
record.
Mark, would you want to make that motion?
I'll make that
Or
motion.
Mark Panicucci,
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, yeah, I'll make the motion to, move forward with the application, for tax forgiveness for Jonathan Baker pending receipt of his, application and completion of
Signed
the tax
agreement.
application, tax forgiveness application, as noted in the, agenda.
the packet.
For properties on
For
Delaware.
the property on Delaware and Rostraver Street.
Okay,
I second the motion.
Okay.
seconded by,
I think the application is complete in the documentation. He didn't mark the
the-
check boxes. But the application that's included in the packet looks like it includes all the different things that were in the thing. So,
with the exception of agreement, yes. Yeah.
with the exception of agreement, so we need to present him with
Okay,
so I'd like to modify the motion just slightly, modify it such that we will present to him the final agreement for him to complete, and pending review individually, that it would be accepted. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
I can understand it.
okay.
And somebody second that, and we'll vote on it, I guess.
I'll second that.
All right,
Okay.
seconded by Mark Valora. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that passes unanimously.
Okay.
Excuse me. So for point of discussion, then tomorrow, if I can get this information to him for his processing and finalized, then we would forward that to the school district to move ahead. Is that plan? Okay. And your meeting would be the 20th?
20.
Okay.
Break it in, how much?
Okay, now Lewis is a different application, is that correct?
Yep, he's on the bottom of your packet.
And he did not provide
Not-
anywhere near the same
no,
amount
no.
of information, financial information, or,
He is yet to provide that too, as of checking this week, so.
so first off, his application is not complete.
You
It
can
did-
see where he is deficient on his page 1.
Was he doing that or that young lady?
I believe the lady's helping him, right?
That's what I thought.
But I have not seen anything come in from them
And who
since
is,
the last
who is
meeting.
this guy? So I wrap my head around it?
The guy that's trying to get 220.
220 Donner.
The
Connor.
house that.
That's the girl that comes
Maria
in here and
lost
says
the
she
money.
can write a check for $40,000.
Right. Yeah.
There's a language issue here, more than there is
Mhm.
anything else, I
Yeah.
think. I do know that she did everything right when she bought that place. She hired a title company, she hired a closing company,
Okay.
she paid $20,000 for, the $7,000 of it was just an overhead title insurance and everything else she did,
Mhm.
which I'm convinced she's got money. I've talked to, she speaks English, her father does not. My, I'm not what I would call a trusting individual, but by the same token, I think that this is probably of the same caliber as the other one. That we have a legitimate person here. She came before us before. She talked to us. She has the wherewithal to make it happen. Why wouldn't we ask her to go ahead and complete the application and do the same thing
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Within a timeframe of,
by next week?
okay.
It needs to be done quick.
Mhm.
If it's gonna be processed now, otherwise it's gonna be late year.
Right. And she would have to meet the designated parts of the application to move ahead, just as we're requiring of the other applicant. Is that correct?
Correct.
Finalize her application.
Right.
The application for the party.
Yeah, I mean, the checklist, I don't know if that really disturbs me that much. We need to review that, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We know that she has a title, so she doesn't need a notarized sales agreement, so that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
A copy of the recorded deed, we can get that online,
Right.
we can download that ourselves and verify that.
Mhm.
Evidence of financial capacity to complete the planned improvements, I think that she satisfied me in any event, the fact that she spent a lot of money and has a lot more money to spend on getting this to happen, so I don't see that as an issue. The evidence of property insurance is probably the one thing
Mhm.
that we need to get done in the executed agreement that we got.
Right.
So I don't see that as a big
Okay,
issue.
okay.
I really don't.
Okay. Needed by next week, right?
Yeah, so we need to get a hold of her and let her know. In fact, I did give her a copy of the agreement to
Mhm.
review it.
Okay.
When she was here before.
Okay, so she does have that.
She should have it. She needs to complete it, bring it in, we'll get it notarized, and,
No, just two things.
make it happen.
Yeah.
So in that vein, do we need a motion to do that also?
I think we do.
Okay.
My,
Anyone
my,
of the
my,
Marks or Mayor would like to?
my
Marvin?
motion is we accept the, application from Louis Paramo,
Mhm.
Paramo,
Right.
for the 220 Donner property. And ask her to complete the final agreement, get it notarized and, bring it to us and we will accept it.
I'll second that.
Okay. On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0. That
Okay,
motion carries.
we have some plans.
Okay.
Is there any other business we want to take up? We need to establish when we're going to have our next meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, right. Just aside from
The 26th meeting, right?
yeah, just,
So it'd have to be prior to the 20th,
I'm sorry.
be prior to your school board meeting.
Do we need another meeting to accept these two?
No,
I think
we
that
don't.
we've
I- I
accepted.
think that
We just need to simply
board
get
just
the
needs to be
copies of-
notified that
Okay,
the
okay.
information's been
Very
obtained.
good.
Yeah, we need to give you
Okay,
a
then
copy of
that's
the
good.
completed agreement and
So we could reconvene on the 26th and review all this and
we
we'll know
don't
where
need
we're
a,
at.
we
No,
don't
no,
even-
well, we'll know where, what
Yeah,
what
we'll
occurred.
have updates from
Right.
the, yeah, if these
These
two
20,
individuals are able to provide the agreements
Yeah.
Then-
Yes.
in time for
The
being
meeting,
on the
meeting.
board agenda, then.
then we're good to go.
Are we saying by 4 PM on 19th?
Is that what you guys need as far as the
We,
school
we
district?
like to have it by the end of the day Friday,
Very
but-
good.
Oh.
Okay,
good.
that's reasonable.
the Friday before, yeah, so that they, because we have to post the
Agenda.
agenda
Yeah,
June
24
16th.
hours ahead of time.
Okay,
Right.
Okay,
alright. So
Okay.
June 16th.
So June 16th, they need to, both parties need to have the completed agreement.
okay.
Now, our next meeting is not going to be for a while.
26th, right? Yeah, so we'll be beyond that, but we will have all this completed, which will be good.
We're talking about months from now.
I was thinking, just moving forward, having maybe a meeting in August and then one in November.
Okay, and that's
Okay.
fine with me too, yes.
This way we kind of bundle some properties,
Yeah, and get coordinated, okay, yep.
so looking to meet again maybe August 21st. And then, November 20th after that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm fine with both those dates, I think.
And that was, and then
Yeah,
Mr. Olivia, then November 20th, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a
That'll
way
be-
that we could get that like written up or anything, or just like we have it signed? Or like a piece of paper, just, you know,
Like an agreement.
Like a memorandum of
Yeah. With
understanding of
November
some
date.
sort? Sure, I think we could,
just to have it written up.
okay.
And then also why I have these intentions, I talked to Mr. Corbash, there's probably mixed feelings, but with that water lien, is there anything that we can do about that or no?
That's something that we can't deal with.
Yeah, that's out of
That's
mine.
out of our control.
What's in November?
So what is the water lien on that property?
It's $600.
20th,
Yeah, that's a problem. There are certain things that we can't touch, and the water is one of them. Water and sewage are the two things that we can't do anything for.
Okay.
yeah, I think that's the premise that we all, after we looked at the issue, are under, but I'd like to continue talking to you about that, just for the good of the order, so. Marvin and I had some ideas, and maybe we can just chat about it. Okay,
So we're gonna do it on the 21st at the same time, 4:30, or do you want to do it a different time?
Hold on. 4:30?
you like this?
4:30 's
Um,
fine.
Okay, I got that on that one, and then November. We have a city council meeting on November 20th,
Oh, yeah? On Monday.
because Thursday is Thanksgiving.
You wanna do the 27th? That would be, yeah, that's why I'm gonna do the 27th then.
Okay, I've got a schedule for 27th, so we can
Oh.
change that to 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay. So that changes, Marvin. 27th rather than, okay.
Okay, and that means the one in October on the 23rd is not a happening thing. We need to delete that one.
I think that makes sense.
September, we have one scheduled on the 25th. We need to delete that one too. And then on the August 28th, we have one. We can cancel that one.
Okay,
Okay?
so 21st of August at
Yeah, no.
4:30 and 27th of November at 4:30.
Yeah, I'll do mine.
So when is
Or
your,
you wanna do the 20th, you know, when I'm looking at I'm looking at my schedule, I would not be here the 21st, we have a game.
Okay,
28th I could possibly.
well, what's wrong with the 20th? If we do it at 4:30, we can do that long before the city council meeting. That was when you originally suggested.
Speaking of August, I'm sorry.
Oh, August.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, November, I don't have any issues with November right now. I don't have any issues, November 20th, but I wouldn't be here for August 21st, I'm sorry. If you need me, I don't know if you need me or not, but.
Well, let's try to make it work for everybody. If
Yeah,
that doesn't work, when would it work in August? Or would it at all?
We'll be preseason camp, I mean, I might be able to make the 14th.
We may have our,
That's when we have our
Economic,
economic
yeah.
development.
Oh, okay. Okay,
What about the 28th?
yeah, 28th, August 28th instead? Is it okay?
That would work with me.
Okay.
okay,
I'll be gone.
Huh?
that's right, you're gonna be on vacation,
I'll
that's
be
right.
out of town.
Okay.
Just to
Okay.
have a quorum, right?
Well,
When are you gonna be back?
Sunday after Labor Day, the following, a week from that Friday. I believe it's Friday to Friday on that.
Labor Day celebrated on Monday, 4th of September.
Do we need to have, how about just moving it into September?
yeah, that,
We're
I think
already-
that would
We're
work.
already halfway through.
Somewhere
June.
along about the September 11th.
Well, we are, originally scheduled for about the 3rd, or the 2nd or 3rd Monday of,
Well, the 4th is Labor Day, so
Mhm.
either the 11th or the 18th.
okay, we'll try the 18th.
And do the 18th.
Okay,
So you don't expect to be able to have anything ready to go until like the November timeframe?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Because I don't wanna, if you think
yeah,
he may have been done in August, then I don't wanna have to make him wait, but
To be honest, I really don't need the full 6 months, but it's, you know, if that's how it's gonna work, that's how it's gonna work.
Well, we can't get it through the school board until the
Yeah.
school board meets again,
Right.
so it's gonna be a while.
yeah. So maybe the,
Oh. September?
September,
Could you do September? No, okay, he's pretty confident of that, so, okay.
maybe September 11th, because the board meeting is going to be on the 12th. That's not gonna
Okay.
that's not gonna be enough time anyway, so. Yeah, we may as well go with the 18th.
18th holds, okay.
okay.
Of September. Okay.
So September
18th,
18th,
and November
27th.
27th,
27th, okay,
4:30 PM.
All right.
okay.
Anything else anybody has?
No,
So
Make 'em-
so do I have the November or September to have it done?
You have until November.
November.
8th.
Okay.
You have until
If you-
November.
If you get done ahead of time, then there'll be a September meeting.
Make a motion that we adjourn at 5:31.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? The ayes have it.
all right.
Thank you.